is only one perfect solution, but there are clues that will try to trick our team.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ad Nauseam. So this is the way the module looks. It's got a sort of, I guess, tealish background. It's like a sort of almost green/blue, sea blue background. For those of you who know Cookie Keypad, you know what that's like. So we have 4 different buttons that can be highlighted in the center here, along with a center display. We have a little timer up in the top left, which will start at 0, 0, but once we press any of the 4 directional buttons to activate the module, that will turn up to 150 seconds. And we have this little top display here, which will represent the questions, because this is a pop quiz-esque module. So this will represent the blank out of 20 questions. It will always be out of 20, and then later on it will transform into the submission part of it. So what exactly is this module all about? So based off of the name ad nauseam, the original term comes from ad nauseam here, simply with one less delta. That is referring to something that has been done or repeated so often that it's become annoying or tiresome. And as you can tell by the name of the module, this is going to have to be doing something with math, as you can tell by the ad nauseam. So this is exactly what the module looks like, and this is exactly what we're going to be doing. However, the module is not as straightforward as it seems. So let's explain that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a series of different prompts when we activate the module, and we have to do a lot of work in 150 seconds. So the format of the prompt may be the question number. Now, this might be asking for what the correct answer of the question number that you're currently on. So, for example, if I have answered, let's just say 4, 5, 3, 7, and these are my answers, and it asks me for a question now, what the question would be is this would be question number 5, because we've already answered 4 questions, and this is simply be number 5. Now, the way I like to do this is actually I like to use the Notepad++ for the column mark, as we can see here. This represents column number 5, and this means that we're on the 5th question. It's a very easy way of just simply combating that question. It's a very easy question, and there's not really much of that work to it. What happens if it was question 15, for example? It simply wants us to use the last digit of the correct number question. So it can pop up in the 11 to 20 range. There will always be 20 questions that you will get, and you have to answer all of them in 150 seconds, and there's going to be a second part of which you need to submit into the module. Now for the next part, odd and even. Odd and even is pretty straightforward, but all you need to do is you need to just click the one, and that's going to be odd or even. The other ones will project and the other parity essentially. So for example, if your answer was going to be odd, there could be the possibility of having a 2, 4, 1, and an 8. That obviously the one that we would choose is the 1, because 1 is odd. And vice versa. But there will always be one correct answer, and all of the answers will always be different. Keep that in mind. And all of them will actually only be 1 digits. So just keep that in mind. Now for the next two, these two are the most common that appear. Preferably the 4th one. The 4th one is pretty straightforward of a number and a number with some operation. It is important to note that it's going to be addition, subtraction, and a potential chance of division. These are the 3 operators of which you'll see. And the multiplication simply does not appear because of the fact that so many numbers go past the larger range of which it needs to be. It's not like you would answer the last digit. It's simply just use this display operator. So there can be for example, a 3 plus 2, which will give you a 5. Or you can have a 36 divided by 6, which will give you a 6. So for example, like that. So it's important that you know how to do your math. I expect you know how to do your math at this point. If you're playing this game, God help you if you haven't done your math, because there's a lot to this game that has to do with math. Now for the final bit, and it's probably one of the more important ones that you need to understand how that works. X by some number. The correct answer is the result of the displayed operation with the previous correct answer substituted into X. So for example, if we had a 4, 5, 2, a 4, 5, 3, and a 9, and say we had X minus 5, for example, we would simply substitute our most previous answer, in this case being 9, into X. And that would be 9 minus 5, which will give us an answer of 4. So that's the way how these prompts work, and these will be the only 4 of which you'll see in the actual module. So what we need to do is we need to take note of the values of the correct answer and the directions of the buttons in which they were displayed on. This is the most important part because this is going to be part of step 2 for this module. So I'm simply going to do step 1 just to demonstrate how this module actually works, and I'm going to explain step 2 for you guys, because the timer runs out in 150 seconds, and it surprisingly takes quite a bit with the amount of work that we have to do. And the amount of work that we have to do quickly. I'm not going to be able to explain this all to you in 150 seconds and be able to do it. I will show you how all of it works, and then I'll do an example where I actually solve it correctly. So let's get into this module. So all we need to do is we simply need to press one of the 4 directional buttons to activate the module, and we can get going. It'll increase the time, and now we're right into the module. So we have a division of 4 divided by 4, and we see the questions 0, 1 out of 20. So we're going to simply say 1 up. X plus 5, we're going to substitute in our previous answer, being a 1. 1 plus 5 is going to give us 6, which is the left. 6 left. 24 divided by 8, 8, 16, 24. That's going to be a 3, which is down. 15 minus 8 is going to be a 7, which is left. Odd, now we have even, 4 to 8, and we have 7, which is odd, which is going to be in the opposition. 7 is up, 7 is up. Now, 7 plus 1 is going to be 8, which is going to be because we substituted in the 7 as our previous answer, so it's going to be 8 left. 2 divided by 2 is 1, which is to the right. Question number. Now, as you can see, the question number goes into question marks, as you can see here, so we actually don't have the ability to use this guy as our advantage. However, we have our Notepad++, and we know for a fact that this is going to be question 8 based off of column 8, and as you can see, we've answered 7 different questions so far. So it's going to be 8 in the down position. 8 down. 8 minus 6 is going to be 2 down. 1 plus 3 is going to be 4 left. X plus 5 is going to be 4 plus 5, which is going to be a 9 right. 35 divided by 7 is going to be 5, which is left. Odd is going to be the 5, which is up. Question number is going to be 14. However, we're going to submit the last digit, which is going to be a 4, which is to the right. 4 to the right. 7 minus 4 is going to be 3 to the right. 15 minus 8 is going to be 7 to the left. X minus 3, 7 minus 3 is going to be a 4, which is up. Question number is going to be 18 for at column 18, so it's going to be 8 to the right. 35 divided by 7 is going to be a 5, which is up. Last question, 72 divided by 8 is going to be 8, 16, 24, 32, which should be a 9. So 9 to the right. And now that we've done all 20 questions, we're going to enter in a 4-digit keypad of which we need to get from these series of calculations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to note down the symbols that are actually displayed on the module here, which is going to be a $, hashtag, ampersand, and the euro symbol, which I'll mark down with an equal. So the timer will run out.
Why?
Like so. And now it just simply stays deactivated. So let's get into the bulk of this module and how it works, and once I'm done, I will simply pull up the logging to see if we were correct. So what we need to do for the first part, and we're going to use everything that we've noted down. So we've done all of the numbers that we submitted and all of the directions. All of these are important. So we're going to take the sum of the values here that we pressed, and we're going to convert them into base 4. So let's do that. So we have 1 plus 6 plus 3 plus 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 1 plus 8 plus 2 plus 4 plus 9 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 7 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5 plus 9, which will give us a total of 106 in base 10. Now, for those of you who are familiar with how to convert bases, this should be pretty straightforward. However, we're only going to be submitting 4 characters, so that should immediately give you a hint that we're only going to be using 4 to the power of 3. So we'll be using 4 to the power of 3, and then 4 to the power of 2, then 4 to the power of 1, and then 4 to the power of 0. Make sure my voice is on. It is indeed. So this is the way the module. This is what we're going to be doing. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to convert these guys into the base 10 format, and we're essentially going to see how many times we can plug in the values. So 4 to the power of 3, demonstrate, 4 times 4 times 4, will give us a total of 64. Then 4 times 4, which is going to be a 16. 4 to the power of 1 is just 4 itself, and 4 to the power of 0 is just simply a 1. So now essentially, what we want to do is we want to do from left to right the greatest power and see how many times that fits in to the least amount of powers. Note that it actually can, so note that since this is base 4, it cannot go above 3, because base 4 includes in its range 0 to 3, because 0, 1, 2, 3 is 4 numbers, and base 4 can only have 4 different numbers. That's the way the bases work. Base 2, 0 and 1, base 3, 0, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. Even with base 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, note that it will always have the last digit. The greatest digit in each base will simply be the 1, will be the base power minus 1, essentially. That's the way how that works. So, essentially what this means is that the maximum amount in each of these guys that we can have is 3. We can only have so much that a 3 can fit into this. With most cases, the 64 is only going to fit in once with the base 4 digits. So we're going to simply subtract. We're going to do 106 minus 64. It fits in once, and now it's lower than 64. So we're going to say that fits in once to 4 to the power of 3. Now, how many times does 16 fit into 42? So minus 16, 1, 2. That fits in twice. So we can fit 16 in twice. And now, let's see how many times 4 can fit into the power. 4 can fit into 10. Let's do minus 4, 1, 2. That's going to be a 2. And how many times can 1 fit into 2? Well, let's figure it out. Minus 1, 2. That can fit in twice. And if we happen to do this in reverse, we can essentially say we're going to add 2. So 2 plus 2 times 4 is going to be 8 plus 8. 2 times 16 is going to be a 32. And then we're going to add simply 164, and that gets us back to 106. So we have successfully converted this into base 4, 1, 2, 2, 2. So now we're done with that part. That's the important part for that bit. And now we're going to get into the bulk of how this actual module works. So we're going to be using the funny De Bruijn cipher. We're going to start at the center. And what we're going to do is we're going to do, for every 2 button presses in a particular direction, move 1 space in that direction. Now, one of the things that I'd like to help me with the directions is I actually like to space these guys out. So, and we zoom out a little bit. And essentially what this does for me is on Notepad++, if you happen to hover and highlight over each character, essentially what this does is it reveals all the duplicates in it. So, one thing that's very important to understand is that for every 2 button presses, what this simply means is that this means 2 button presses throughout the entire thing. It does not mean consecutively. It does not have to be consecutively in order for this to count, so bear that in mind. We're essentially looking for every pair of button presses that we can find in a particular direction. It doesn't have to be together, it just simply has to be there. So for example, if we take the ups, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have up, up, then up, up, then up. So what this means for every 2 button presses, we have these 2 ups here, we have these 2 ups here, however we have this 1 up right here. So what this means is that we are simply going to just leave this one alone. We actually don't care about anything that's odd, we only care about the pairs that we get. So essentially what this transforms into is we're going to be moving on the grid 2 spaces up. Now, what I tend to do is I actually tend to make my life a little bit easier. I tend to figure out what the opposite direction of that is and see if we can cancel anything out. So if we go to down, for example, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 down, so a down, down, and a down. And what this simply means is we get rid of that extra down, and we're simply going to be making this a 1 down. Now, immediately right off the bat, one thing that we can do is we can simply cancel out 1 down from 2 up, which simply will give us a 1 up. And that has already been taken care of. Now with the left and rights, as you would imagine, we can do the same thing. So let's count how many lefts. We have quite a few lefts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what this simply means is we're going to be having 3 lefts, because we have 6 lefts, and then that 1 extra one that we don't care about. And then for the rights, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 2 pairs of rights, so we're going to be moving 2 to the right. What we're simply going to be doing is we're going to be moving, instead of 3 left, 2 right, we're simply going to move 1 left. Or excuse me, 3 left, 2 right. And now we have found our final transposition. And now the way that we move up, remember is asking us to move 1 space. We are simply going to be moving up like this. So we're going to move the bottom part up to the top. And that's counting as 1 space. That's how that works. It's not like this. So we started this center 2x2 grid, and it's not like this. That's not how that works. It's just simply this. So, and moving one to the left, likewise, would take me to here. And now, taking a look at our symbols that we had $, hashtag, euro, and ampersand. And we actually do happen to have the exact same symbols as we had beforehand. So that is good. That is really, really good for us. And what this means is that we're on the track to getting the right answer. So now, here's where the little bit of a tricky part comes in. So what we need to do is we need to essentially encode these characters, and we need to figure out what they equal in base 4. The digits are encoded with symbols. That's going to be 0 through 3. So we need to figure out which number each character represents. So we're going to take the first occurrences of each letter in the serial number and assign the symbols to each. So let's do this. So let's do a Romeo Papa and a Delta Echo. And we're going to take this in reading order. We're going to arrange these, so we're going to do, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to assign symbols to each of them in reading order. So we're going to do a 2x2 grid, essentially. And we're going to arrange these letters in alphabetical order and rearrange the symbols accordingly. So, actually, let's do this. So let's make a line, and then let's put each of the symbols under it. So let's do the euro, hashtag, dollar, and ampersand. Like so. Okay. And now essentially let's just reorder these guys and make them reorder the symbols along with them. So let's do a D is going to be first, which is the $sign. E is going to be second, which is the euro, the ampersand, excuse me. The next up is going to be a Papa, which is going to be the hashtag. And Romeo is going to be the Echo, which is oddly spelling Depresso's name, which is not intentional. Also, hello, Depresso. Thanks for the thumbnail, by the way. It's pretty funny. So, what we have here is we're essentially creating the characters being 0, 1, 2, 3. So now, as you would expect, the digits 0, 1, 2, 3 are encoded as the symbols in the rearranged set from left to right. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And what this essentially means is the number that we got in base 4 from the numbers that we added up. What this means is that we're essentially going to encode each of these characters from left to right. So 1 represents the and sign, the ampersand, and the 2s represent the hashtag, and this is what your final answer would be into the module. So let's actually see if that logging was right. And just like that, ampersand, hashtag is our final passcode. And just like that, we have solved that module. Now, one thing that's very important and actually very helpful for doing this module is actually prepping the last little bit of the module. That part can take a little bit. So what I tend to do is I actually tend to essentially create a little 2x2 grid here and essentially order the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 with the alphabetic position. So Delta would be 0, Echo would be 1, Papa would be 2, and Romeo would be 3. And just like that, it equals the exact same characters as I did on the module. The 1 is the ampersand, which is in the bottom right. As you can see, the bottom right has the ampersand. And the 2s are going to be in the top right, which happens to have the hashtags. So that's the way that I tend to prep this module. Now, one last thing I forgot to mention is if there are less than 4 distinct letters in the serial number, apply the above steps to only the first symbols, leaving the last symbols in place. So what this means is, for example, let's say we had only a Romeo, Papa, and a Delta. Let's say we got rid of that first character, or that last character, excuse me. What we would essentially do is we would simply leave this last symbol in its place, and what this means is that we'd simply leave that as a 3. We'd simply leave that alone until the very end. So what we would normally do is we'd arrange these letters alphabetically, and then we would simply leave this last guy alone. Since we can't arrange it alphabetically, we simply put the greatest number at that position, and we do the rest accordingly. So Delta would be 0, Papa would be 1, and Romeo would be 2. And this is the way how this grid will transform them. That's only if there are less than 4 distinct characters. Keep that in mind. It can happen with 2, it can happen with 3, it can happen with 1 if you happen to be using a modded serial number, which not many people play with, mind you. But that is essentially how this module works. And keep in mind, the module will reset if a wrong answer is given to the prompt and the timer runs out before any symbols are submitted, or the submission does not match the passcode. Now, one thing that's important to note with the passcode is that you actually have to wait until the timer reaches 0 for it to actually submit. So you don't know when you're right. If you don't know if you're right, immediately until it hits 0. So let's simply give this a go one more time, and let's see if I can do this fast enough to actually get through one example. Now, I'm going to be going a little bit fast because this module definitely requires you to be very, very fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave our prepped little 2x2 grid here, the 0, 1, 2, 3, and we can simply use this for our next example. Note, every example is going to be different with the answers that it gives you and the direction it wants you to move, so I'm going to try to do this by the best of my ability. This module is very, very tricky, and you guys might experience some confusion, and I hope it doesn't confuse you along the way. There is one last thing I'd like to show you before I actually get going into some real attempts. If you happen to strike 3 times in a row,
Oh, I would love to give you that, but I really can't.
you'll get a funny sound. That's not what I meant to do.
No, I can't accept it. I'm not persuaded.
Like that. Just a funny little unicorn. Thank you to Exish for finding that. Exish, for finding that unicorn. If you happen to strike 3 times in a row, you get that little fucking shitty sound.
Oh, God.
Alright, so I'm going to go quiet a little bit, and I'm actually going to get going with this module, because this module is very tricky, and if you guys can follow along, please do. However, it does require a lot of speed element. There is a lot of practice that I would advise you to have with this module before you actually do this in a competitive slash bomb environment, because like with voices, it's very tricky to actually do this. So let's get this going. Okay, we have 4 up, please. Question number is going to be 2 up. It's going to be 8 up. Lots of ups. 9 left. It's going to be 8 down. 16 minus 7 is going to be a 9, which is up. Odd is 7 to the left. X is 7 to the left. 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2 to the right. 9 down. Question number is 11, so that's going to be a 1 to the right. 45 divided by 5 is going to be a 9, which is down. Question number is 13, which is 3 to the left. Odd is 1 down. 2 is 1 right. 1 right, yep. 54 divided by 6 is a 9, which is to the left. 3 down. 72 divided by 8 is going to be a 9, which is down. 8 down. 5, which is up. Now we're at this point, okay. So now let's add everything up. Let's space all of these guys out. Like so. Alright. 4 plus 2 plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 2 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 gives me 114. We can subtract 64 from it, which is a 1. How many times can we do 16? Minus 1, 2, 3. We can do 3 times. We can't subtract 4 from it, and we can do 2 1s. Alright, base 4 is good. Alright, now for the ups, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's going to be 2 ups. How many downs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so that's going to be a 3 downs. That's simply going to be 1 down, because the 2 downs cancel each other out. Lefts, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to be a 2 lefts. Then rights, we have 1, 2, 3. That's going to be simply canceling out one of the lefts to make it 1 left. So 1 down, 1 left. 1 down, 1 left. Will take us to here. We have the matching symbols. So now what we need to do is we need to submit 1, 3, 0, 2, which is going to be and. Percentage sign, 0, which is 0. Oh, I was close. As you can see, I was very, very close to that solution. I was about to type everything in, and then I simply got lost. I had to submit hash into the actual sequence. As you can see, I was very close to actually submitting this into the module. I'm going to simply strike on this.
And why would that be?
It's very tough to narrate this, so I'm going to simply do one that I know for a fact that I can do. So let me do this without any noise. But I did have the right answer going in mind, so let's do it again. Okay. Alright, even is going to be 4 down, 4 up, please. Question number is 2 to the left. 4 right. 1 up. 4 right. Odd, which is 3 down. 7 up, 8 up, 1 down, 6 down, 2 up, 2 down, 2 right, 1 right, 8 right, okay, 4 up, 6 up, 4 plus 2 is 6 to the right. Question number is 19, so 9 left. And x minus 3, 9 minus 3 is going to be a 6. Okay, add everything up. 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 plus 8 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 9 plus 6 gives me 86. Minus 64 is a 1. Minus 16 is a 1, so we can subtract 16 minus 16. We can subtract 1 4 from it, and we can subtract 2 1s from it. There we go. That's our base 4 taken care of. Now for directions. Space everything out, please. We have plenty of time. Okay, so let's see how many times we can do up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 3 ups. Downs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2 downs. It's going to simply be 1 up instead. Left. That's 1 left. Pretty sad. Rights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be 3 rights. That's going to be simply 2 rights. So 1 up, 2 rights. 1 up. 2 rights. Okay, symbols match, that's good to go. And now for 1, 1, 1, 2 is going to be bottom right, which is the modulo, so modulo, modulo, modulo. And then the 2 is going to be in the top right, which is a $sign. And now we have our answer. So now let's wait for the timer to count down, and hopefully, I am right about this. And just like that is a solved module. Now, the module will give you a random grade. Sometimes it's a D-, sometimes it's a B, and just like that, a module is good to go. I'll do one more example for you guys, because I want to be able to explain the serial number and how that actually works and involves with the module. So let's go over one final example. Clear my notes. There we go. Oh, hold on. We have 4 letters in this time around, so let's just do it again. All right. That's better. All right, so before I even start the module, let's immediately prep the final answer for some of these digits here. So we have Whiskey Golf November. So Whiskey Golf November. Let's make this into the 2x2 format. So let's do a hashtag for the last position. And then let's order these alphabetical starting at 0. So golf is first, it's going to be 0. November is second, it's going to be 1. Whiskey is 2, that's going to be whiskey is number 3, so that's going to be a 2. And now with our missing position, we'll simply mark this with a 3. Likewise, if there was only 2 characters, it would simply be 2, 3 at the bottom. So that's how that works. And now our answer is prepped for the last little bit of the module. That's really, really important that you do that, because that is going to be so important for the speedrun element of this. It's a very speedy module. So let's get right into this. All right. Loosen up. Press one of the 4 directional buttons. Let's get this going. That's going to be a 2, which is up. Zoom out a little bit. 7, which is left. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. 2, which is right. Odd, which is going to be 3 up. Question is number 5, which is to the right. Question is now 6 to the right. Even is going to be 6 up. 30 divided by 6 is 5, which is down. 1 to the right, 5, which is going to be an up, 1 to the left, 7 to the down, it's going to be a 2, which is up, 2, which is down, 3, which is right. Question number is 16, which is going to be a 6, which is down. Odd is going to be a 3 down. 3 plus 3 is going to be 6 down. 5 to the left. 2 plus 3 is 5, which is up. And now we're going in. Alright. 2 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 12 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus a 6 plus a 10. 82 minus the 64 is going to be 1. Minus the 16 is going to be a 1. 0 because there's no 4s, and 2 because there's 2 1s. Done. So now, let's space out the directions, and let's see how many times we're going to be moving around here. Okay, ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's going to be 3 ups. And downs, to counter it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those counter, so there's nothing up or down. Left, 1, 2, 3, that's 1 left. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's going to be a simply 1 right. So now we're going to move 1 right to this position. Everything matches. That's good to hear. And now we're going to submit 1, 1, 0, 2 into the module. So we're going to submit bottom left twice, so $, $, and 0, which is top right, which is ampersand, and then 2, which is going to be top left, which is the euro symbol. And just like that, we now wait for our clock to go down, and we should be good to go. Hopefully. I really, really want to get done with this module. Ooh, A+, let's go. That's actually a new solve sound I don't think I've ever heard. I guess that's what happens when you roll an A+, so there we go. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and please, for the love of God, know your math. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.